We're going to have a lot of fun here. Here are the colors that you're going to need for part two.
Okay, guys, hi. We're back here for part two of our awesome how to color fruit. So I hope we're having fun. I know I am. I love it. It's so much fun. Okay, so let's get started here. What we're going to do now is we're going to start by just basing in our peach, okay? And let's just take some lemon yellow and let's just base it in here nice and lightly with some lemon yellow. Okay, I'll base it in. Okay, and now our peach comes in this way, so we're just kind of coming in this direction because that's the way our peach is growing. You know, it's always nice, like when you're doing this kind of, we're doing this nice still life. Maybe you can even have a nice bowl of fruit sitting in front of you to give you some little inspiration, huh? Is that close enough? I kind of maybe want to get a little closer for you so you can see what I'm doing, because this is good. Okay. Yeah, have a little piece of fruit right next to you when you're doing this, huh? Just so you can feel the vibe. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in this area here. I want to have a little more of a glow with my lemon yellow in here, and I probably maybe in here going to have a little more of a glow. So I'm just kind of just putting in maybe in here too. Just a little bit more. See? Just some areas where I'm having a little bit more my peachiness. Giving it a little bit more peachiness. Okay, now what I want to do is we're going to grab some of my awesome Spanish orange. And the Spanish orange, what we're going to do here now is we're going to start just kind of giving it, we're going over the yellow where we had before because the yellow gives it a really nice undertone. And I'm just lightly going over it now with the Spanish orange, see? To give it our peach color. I went over my apple a little bit, that's okay, just kind of going around it. Careful of your apple underneath. Oh, and you want to, at this point, you know, when you're getting so far in your picture, you want to make sure you kind of probably might want to keep a piece of paper underneath. You know, you don't want to mess up what you have going. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of Spanish orange up in here to give it a little bit of that orangey flavor here. And we're going to add some Spanish orange up in here. Down in this area. And then we want to get some Spanish orange up in here. Let's come around our, this is going to be an orange too, but we're going to still go around it. Giving it, starting to look a little bit more like a peach right now. I'm going lighter up in here. Okay, just coming around here. Not just now. I want to keep that glow of the yellow. Okay, just see little circles coming around here. Okay, see how I'm bringing it down because my peach goes this way, right? This is the way my peach goes. Let's see, I'm just putting down some color here. Keeping it peachy. Peachy keen. Alrighty. Now we gotta get some peach going in here too, alright? This is just creating a nice little underglow for our peach color. And I do want to keep it a little lighter at the top there where that yellow is, because I want to have that a nice yellow glow up in there. So want it a little darker in here, right? Where it's darker. Just having a little bit. See, I'm leaving a little bit lighter up at the tip, just so it has like a little glow up in here. See, it has a little glow, like a little halo around it, which is kind of cool. We want a little halo. I'm just gonna have lots of layers. Our peach. All right, we got some orange going here. All right. I'm just going back over it again. Give it some layers. All right. Just going back over it again over some of the yellow. But I don't want to go too dark over here because I want it to be a little bit more. All right, so it's kind of coming along. It's just our first little blocking color. All right. Okay, now what we want to do is we're going to grab let's see, we're going to grab some yellow ochre. And the yellow ochre, what we want to do here with the yellow ochre is give it a little bit of shade in here with our yellow ochre, right? See how it's having a little bit of shade in here, right? Give it a little bit of shade in our peach. Okay, start light. Just start nice and light first, and we're going to go back in and make it darker. But like I say, we don't know yet exactly where we're going to want all of our shades. We're going to go back in later. But right now we want to put in some to get our basic blocking in. Make it look kind of pretty as we go. And add some shades and add some colors so we kind of know what things are, where our shades are, and that we know what is what. We want things to look like apples and bananas and oranges, and then we can go back in and do details as we want later, right? We're right now just doing some of this in here. All right, let me just put a little bit more in here, a little darker here. Just kind of come up a little. There we go. Alrighty. All right. So then now what we're gonna do? Let's grab some yellowed orange now. And what we want to do with the yellowed orange is we want to start giving it a little bit more color to it. See how I'm starting to give it another layer of color? See? Just put it in here. See, it's got it starting to get that peachy color, but the yellow is starting to come through. The yellow's coming through, but the peach is coming through. Everything is starting to kind of come together a little bit. You gotta make sure. And we want to come over here too. We want to have the nice layer of your. Yeah, this is your yellowed orange. You want to have yellowed orange. Come over here. Some nice yellowed orange over here. Okay. I want to come down here. Have a nice base. Some yellowed orange in here too. Just blocking in our color. We want to have a nice glow on the outside here, so I'm not going to do too much. I like that yellow on that side. It's a little bit brighter. A little darker here, because here we're going to have maybe where we're going to start bringing in where our color is going to be a little bit darker. We're going to give it a little bit of some definition now of our peach, okay? See how I'm starting to give it a little bit of some definition? Just a little bit. I want it to I'm peaching it out a little bit here. Okay, just a little bit darker in here. Okay, I want to give it a little bit of a, okay. Then in here, we want to have our peach kind of come down in here a little, down in here, all right? And then I'm going to bring it around this area here, because this area here is where it kind of comes in, right? We want to give it color in here. I'll leave a little bit of a glow. Okay. Just blend it in. Blend that in. Okay. Just blend it in. Okay, then you want to take your Spanish orange again, and take your Spanish orange, kind of blend it in a little bit, push it a little harder. Spanish orange. So blending it, just blending it a little. You want to start getting it. Okay, so just you want to start getting it to look a little bit more blended here. You might want to grab a little bit of yellow, lemon yellow again. Blend that area out. All right. Now what we want to do is let's grab a little bit of some, I think we're going to need some poppy red here. We're going to add some little bit of color to it. Let's add some poppy red into it. We're just going to add a little bit of poppy red to give it some color. Now peaches have a little bit of, you know, like a little, kind of maybe like a little dent in here. You know, maybe where it's kind of like a split, maybe. I'm going to give it like a little split, like a little split. Maybe here, and give it a hint of some red, like a little riper, you know. Now we're going to start trying to get it to look a little bit more realistic. Okay, let's take some of that poppy. Put a little bit of poppy in here. Glow it up a little bit. Come down in here. Okay, and then we're gonna darken up this area here a little bit, right, with the poppy. And we want it to have a natural fade in, so we want to fade this all in. You don't want any like a distinct line, because then you're gonna it's gonna be again with that clip art look, which is not what we want. So we want to just kind of blend and fade everything in. So what we want to do now here is start creating more of your, just like when we do our flowers. See how I'm just kind of blending it in? Maybe you want a little bit more of that poppy in some area over here. You want a little over here. Okay, then we could grab a little bit of some cat orange. Okay, cat orange is a little bit darker of an orange. Okay, and I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit here, and I'm going to add some cat orange in here and on the side. Okay, I'm going to start now. I haven't messed it up yet, you know what I mean? So now I'm going to put a little bit of cat orange. shade in here. Oh, cat orange. Oh, went around my thing a little bit too much there, didn't I? Alright, now we want our peach to kind of come around here. We want it to have a nice soft blend to the side. And peaches look soft, right? So now what do we have to do? We're going to have to blend it in with that deco yellow, which I'm looking for here. So I'm just going to take my, I don't want to use the lemon yellow because the lemon yellow is going to be a little bit too bright. So I'm going to take my deco yellow and I'm going to start blending it. And I want to just everything, I'm going to mess it up. You know how I do it. I mess it up a little bit. Don't be afraid of messing it up. Just go the direction of the way that you want all your shades to go. And then we're going to go back in and put our shades in again. I just want it to have a nice blend. So I'm using the wax. Okay, I'm going to sharpen it so that my tip, so I can use my tip to smush all the wax together. See how I'm using my tip now and I'm smushing. See, I'm pushing really hard now. And look what I'm doing. I'm using all, see how messy it is? So be careful, you're using all of this and you're just smushing all of that wax together. Just smush it all together. Then be careful when you're using your, get your little makeup brush and just blend it all together. And I know you think it looks ugly, but it won't. You know that by now. You've done enough fruit to know that. It doesn't. Okay? We are now just blending. So just go along your lines here. And what we're doing is creating a nice natural fade in. This is just our first shade. Okay? And use your, you let your wax work with you. We want our peach to have a natural look to it, right? So it's okay if it's messy. It doesn't matter. We're going to be basically redoing it all over again. Okay, I know other people have different ways. This is just my way because I like my to look real. I want everything to be blended in nice. Okay, I want my peach to look peachy. Okay, and I can already tell that that looks like a soft peach. I know that you can't see it yet, but if you follow me along, you'll see. Okay, so now let's take our Spanish orange. Okay, now with our Spanish orange, let's start making our pencil really sharp and let's start really putting in our detail now. Take our Spanish orange and let's start making it look like a real peach now. Take your Spanish orange and we're going to come in here and we're going to start putting that color back in. Okay. You can tell I'm pushing hard because I want that Spanish orange to come in. And that really does look like a nice peachy color. So rich, right? And that's exactly what we want. Nice peachy color where it looks real and good and richy. Now let's take some of that poppy red and we want to get some poppy red in here. Now start off a little lighter and then bring in your shade and then shade it in. Okay, and put it in nice and light where it's coming down into where the base is, and then lightly along the side so that it's nice and lightly faded in like a real peach would be. Okay, so it's nice and lightly faded in like a real peach. Okay, got a nice little color in here. Then you could take your Spanish orange again, just blend it so it's all blended in and peachy and fuzzy. Okay, nice and peachy and fuzzy at the tip. Then what we want to use is we want to take a little artichoke, and we're going to put some artichoke down in here. Okay, we're going to put a little artichoke just so it has a little bit of, see how it has a little bit of artichoke in there? And it gives a little bit of that green. Okay, got a little bit of green in here. And then let's take a little bit of some lime peel. Just a smidgen of lime peel. Just to give it a nice little ripe, just a little ripened on the side. I mean, you can almost not even really see it, but you can see it. I mean, it gives it enough to realize that it's there. There's a nice little layer, just a little bit there for you. And then what we want to do is let's take a little bit of some, I don't know, let's use some chocolate, and then we're gonna add a little bit of chocolate in here. Okay, and the chocolate will just lightly come around there, just to give it a little in depth. Okay, but now what we need to do is let's take our Spanish orange, and then now let's come around with our peach Spanish orange. Okay, and let's start bringing in our peach color. Okay, bring in our peach color now. Okay. Just going over it so that it's looking a lot more like a real peach. Okay. Going over it. And then when you come over here, we're going to put some peach color up in here. Nice and lighter up in here. So you don't lose your, see how that looks like a fuzzy little peach? Okay, now let's take our poppy red again. And now with our poppy red, let's come back in here. The poppy red. Come back in. Come back down again. And give it a lot more. Poppy red glow on our peach here. Alright. Some more. I'm going nice and light over here. I don't want too much, but I want enough to give it a little bit of depth. And I think I want it a little bit brighter. Okay, and again, wherever you want it, a little bit more, wherever you want it to have a little bit more red. And I want it to be a little darker in here. And then if you want to add a little bit more of this some lemon yellow in here, you want to brighten it up, some lemon yellow, See how I'm scratching out some areas here for some highlights. Just because I want a little bit more highlighted in there to make it look a little bit more rough and a little bit more peachy. Then I have to blend it. So I'm going to take that Deco Yellow again, and I'm going to blend it, do a little bit more blending. It's kind of like with the apple, you know. You got to. I really want it to be good because this is I'm trying to make this look really realistic. So I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time on it if I really want it to look realistic and fuzzy. Okay, now I have to really accentuate this area here. It's lemon yellow, so I'm giving it a little highlight up in here. Lemon yellow. Okay, give it a little bit more highlight in here. Going around playing with it a little more. I'm still playing with it because I wasn't happy with it my own self, so it's just a matter of keeping and playing with it. And it does take time. Okay, now I think what I'm going to do, actually, I want to add a little bit of some pink in here. I'm going to use, let's try this pink. This is just an actual Deco pink. I'm going to see if I like this Deco pink. No, let's switch that out. Let's go for a little bit brighter. Let's just use an actual pink. And let's put some pink on here. I'm going to warm it up a little bit with some pink. It needed a little bit of pink on there. Okay, so throw on a little bit of pink. Okay, give it a little bit more of a realistic look to it. And I'm going to go back in here with this chocolate, and I want to darken this up a little bit up in here. Okay, and then I'm just still, like I say, it's poppy red, same thing. I'm just going back in with a couple more layers. What was it? Happy with it my own self, so I kept moving with it until I'm happy with it. And I think we need some and we can use our the Spanish or the yellowed orange, that yellowed orange, to blend it here. Okay. And some circular. All right. All right. Now, when you get over here, when, like, see how I got some of this where my another apple is going to be. I'm going to just try to, you're going to try to have to do that too. Just take some of that off. That's why you got to try to just be a little careful when you're going over your, you know, your area where you're at. You're going to have to go back in and fix that. That's okay. It's all part of the working in. We're going to go back in and do details and all that a little bit later. This is This is the yellow and orange. I'm just kind of brightening it up a little, going over this part with the yellow and orange because I really want to brighten up this little area right up in here. Just brightening it up a little. Might have to do some work on this peach a little bit later. Okay. There we go. I can tell it's a peach, so it's good. I like the little glow, so we're good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do now is let's do we will do some grapes. All right, so with the grapes, what we're gonna do is let's do some powder blue. So what I like about these grayscale is that you can kind of see where your lights are going to be and where your darks are going to be. But I want you to just put your powder blue in here, in where your grapes are going to go. And with these grapes, you're going to notice you're going to be putting them in like this. I'm just putting in. Oh, my paper has a little bit of a flaw in it. It's funny. It happens. Okay, and then I'll just do another one too. So I'll do a couple at a time. Okay. Just to make it easier on myself, since I know that they're all going to be based in that same color, right? Make sure that I keep my area clean. See, I'm just basing them in nice and easy, little circular motions. Okay, just base them in. Okay. Alrighty. And once you have enough that you feel like you're ready to have enough to work in, so let's say you do this many right here, okay? And you got a little bunch to work on. Maybe up in here. I think that's a good amount. Okay. Just so you can have a little bit to work on there. So I got a nice little group of grapes there to work on. All right, then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab some, the colors that I'm using are going to be Indian Throne Blue, Slate Gray, and I'm going to use some Indigo Blue. So first let's take some Slate Gray and just kind of put in kind of where you want your shade to go on your grape. So let's say you want a shade to go here. Okay, see, I'm just putting it little circular motions, and maybe I want a little shade in here. Okay, all right, I'm going to do one grape at a time. All right, then what I'm going to do is I am going to take my indigo blue, and with my indigo blue I'm just going to kind of go around this area here. This is actually a grape too. I'm going to give this a blue here because that is a grape, and this is a little hint of a grape up in here, and this is a grape also. Alright, so let's take my indigo blue again. That's what I was using, indigo blue. And I'm just gonna come alongside here, and then I'm gonna come alongside here. Some indigo blue, okay. All right, then I'm going to take my powder blue, and with the powder blue again, make sure it's sharp. Okay, I'm actually going to go in here, and right where I'm going to start my shading, I'm going to start mushing it up and mixing it all together with the wax. Okay, making the wax, just kind of blending it all together. It kind of just blends together, makes a big mess, right? That's why I told you, you're going to have their little handy dandy thing. Take your indigo blue again now, and then what we're going to do is start making a little bit more where you're going to start shading in your grape. Okay, so if you know, you have to kind of figure out how your grape is shaped. So for example, if you know that this grape is going this way, okay, maybe you want to put your shade like this. That's why I do a couple at a time, so that I know where my shade is. So I want my shade under here. Okay, I want my shade under here. I want a little shade under this one, right? And that's why I always do a couple at a time. All right, then I'm going to take my slate gray, and I will see I'm kind of blending in the bottom with that slate gray a little bit. And use that slate gray. The slate gray is good as a little blender too. In some areas, if you want to, where it's a little darker down in there. Use your slate gray. And then now again with your powder blue. Mix them all in. Mix it all in. Push the colors around. Go in the circles that you go in the way you want your grape to grow. To grow the way you want your grape to go, keeping in mind where you want that highlight. So like if you want your highlight in here, keep it where you want your highlight. Okay, we're going to go back in with your shades too. So, but this is what gives you that, it's just a nice soft look, and don't worry about messing it up, because we're going to go back in and put in your colors, but this just gives it a realistic look. Okay, then as you start building it up, now you're going to start giving it a little bit more, now you got to start giving it, more love, okay? Got to give it more love. So let's say here you're going to have, let's say you got to start giving it a little love, so I'm putting in, see how I'm starting to add a little bit more color in here. Now I'm starting to put in a little bit more shades. See, putting in a little bit more shades. I'm just varying those blues. Varying the blues. Okay, varying the slate gray now. I'm using the slate gray because the slate gray is a nice light color to blend up into. Just blending it in. And then again, grab the powder blue. It's a process. Each grape has got its own little life to it. And blend it around. Okay, and then it depends on exactly how you want your grape to come out. And you're going to do the same over here. Okay. Start giving it a little bit of life. See, each grape takes a little bit of time, but totally worth it. Just spend your time. Okay. Now when you do your next one, we already put the foundation down, right? So let's do another one here. So let's come around here and let's find out where we want our color. So let's say we want our color to be maybe right in this area here. So let's add a little bit here. And let's say we want this one to be a little bit lighter at the top, right? So we want a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit of color in here. Okay? And then over here, we want our grape to come around here. And then maybe we want our color to be in here. So we're just going to put our color right in here. Okay. Then let's take our other blue now. I'm just going to put some other blue in here. Okay, this one is the Indian Throne. The indigo blues is a little lighter. I use the Indian Throne is my darker one. Okay, I use my Indian Throne as my little darker shade. Okay, see, they're starting to come along. It just takes time. You don't. Now take your slate gray, and then your slate gray, just kind of come up a little bit with your slate gray. Okay, blend it in. Blend it in. Then take your, of course, your powder blue. And then I start at the bottom, because if you start at the bottom, then you could start pushing the color up to the top, and then where you want to highlight, you can even leave some nice and light, and then mush it back around. Just mush it around. Come back up in here where the dark is. So you just mush it. Mush it around, mush it around. Mush it around where you had your little highlight. Mush it around. So nothing to be afraid of, because even if it gets messy, it's not a big deal. Because it's okay, because we want a realistic look to it. Okay, we're going to add in some other colors here in a minute. So we're just starting. So we're just now adding a little bit more highlights. Smushing the colors around. Smushing, smushing, more smushing. I went back in here, but that's okay. Like I say, that's okay. Can always go back in and keep adding my shadows. Okay. Okay, I'll go back in with my, even if I start with my slate gray, that's okay. I can start it off with the lighter one. Okay, give it a little color in here. Back in here. That's why I work with the little section at a time. That's just me. That's how I do it. Okay. But I want my grapes to look real, so let's. Okay, now here, okay, you see I'm just taking a little bit more time where the shadow is, right? In here. Okay, then I'm going to come in with my indigo blue. And now I'm going to define my area a little more. Right where I want it to have a nice shadow area. Okay. So a nice shadow area here. Okay, and a nice shadow area in here. Grapes are a lot of fun. You just gotta work with them. Okay. let's see this grape here. This one here looks like it's, I guess this is about where it looks like it's a good shade. Shading maybe up this side a little. Okay, now I'm going to grab the darker one again. Now I'm going to start putting in. I'm going to start paying a little bit more attention to my detail in this area because I'm getting a little bit more, careful. Now it's going to start being, now I want it to be a little bit more realistic now. Putting in more. Okay. This area here. Hey, my dog's always that way. She'll do that and then I get scared and I just jump. Somebody shush. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of some pink. So let's grab some pink and I want to throw some pink on here. Okay, we're going to give this nice pink on here. Give it some pink. You've got to give it, you don't have to do it everywhere, but I think it's nice if you add a little pink on them. Alright, now we're going to have to grab some black. Okay, and then to darken up these areas here, let's take some black and let's, some black. Okay, and really kind of richen up this area a little bit. Where these darker areas are. And then like I say, we haven't started yet, so we don't really know where our highlights are going to go, but I mean at least you kind of have an idea. And then of course we can go in and we can go in there and give it our highlights with some white. But it's kind of hard to do right now at this point because we don't have enough in yet to know where we want them. But we can give it a good start at least. And so you can at least have fun and see how good your picture's coming along. By when you add your highlights in, I think it makes it a little bit more fun when you're coloring. When you can kind of see the progress. I don't know. Ready? Let's pull away. So look at it so far. See that? Pull it out and you can kind of see so far. See, it's starting to come along. You just have to have the vision. You got to have that vision. Imagine all these grapes done and beautiful and shaded, and it's getting really exciting. I gotta go change my battery and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's do another one here. Okay, so I'm going to take the powder blue. I'm just going to go around here. Got my powder blue. Then I'm going to take, see, I can start with any of the colors, and that's, you could do the same thing. Just start with, like in this case, I'm just going to start with my slate gray. And I'm going to put it in the shaded area here. Okay, and I can see there's a little shaded area in here, which is fine. Then I'll take my my indigo blue, and I will make a nice little area right in here. My grape is, and I will start giving it a nice shade here. Right where I kind of want the grape to have a shade, right? Alrighty. Okay, then I'm going to put in my Indian Throne blue where I know I want it a little darker. I'll put that in here. Where I want it a little darker. Go up. Okay, then of course what do? Yep, mess it up. Mess it up. Little circles. Come up where I want it lighter. Use the wax to build up the lightness. See how I'm using the wax? See how I'm using the wax just to build it up. Okay, and I'm pushing it all around here. Now I come down where I had my light area and I'm just sort of smushing it around. Smushing it around. And I'll go back in. But what I'm doing is creating cool grape texture. Alright, there's my nice little grape texture. Okay, and if I think I want to make it a little bit more textury, a little more grapey with some little bit more highlights, a little bit more, you know, details, I just like so. Just keep working with it, see? Then I go back in and I add the final details, of course. I'm a little bit more careful because this is my final section. Well, with me, nothing's ever final, right? I'm always working it. Okay. Working it. Then I'm going to come in here. Working it. I want my grape to kind of come around, so I'm going to come around here. Then I'm going to take the black, of course. Put in a little black down in here. Want it a little darker. And then I'm going to grab my blue. And I gotta have that sharp so it'll smush. I want it to smush. And I'm just going to smush it all in. See how I'm using it to smush? I'm just using the wax to my advantage. See it? There you go. Okay. Now I have a nice little grape here. Okay, then I got to go back in, of course, and give it its detail back in. That's the final detail. Got to constantly keep putting in, but that's okay, that's fun. And then if you lost your roundness, you come back, put it in. Put it in here, maybe put in a little, give it a little highlight in here maybe, or a little shade I mean. Okay, and that's the same, basically the way you do the grapes. Just do that same thing, that same technique on every single one of these. Varying your colors. And then adding your blacks in, you know, to define your shade where you want it a little darker. Okay, do that around. Here, I'll do one more. You can, and then don't forget, you know, add a little bit of pink in some of the areas just to, you know, liven it up. You want to add a little bit of pink in there, some of them. And then, of course, take your white. And then we'll go at the end, though. I mean, can add some your whites, your highlights maybe up in here. And then highlight. If you've scratched too much out, you go back in and just keep adding it. Okay. Go around and smooth it out. If you don't like it, you can go back in. That's the whole great thing about this. You just see, I hold them all in my hand, so I always have all my colors with all my colors, so I could just grab a color and add another layer over it if I need to. Add another layer. working with it if I need to, you know. Just keep working with it. And then add a slate gray if I need to. Slate gray is good for blending. So if you ever need a mid-tone, you can just grab your slate gray. That's good for that. Okay. But the pink adds a nice mid-tone too. You can put that in there if you want. Add a pink in there in some spots. You don't even have to, you know, you can put it in the dark spots too. Just keep messing around with those colors until you're happy with it. Okay. We'll do one more. You want to do one more? Let's do one more before I go on here. Let's do another color. So we got our blue, right? And put your blue in. All right. And we got a blue. And we've got a blue. Okay. And we're going to add, let's try again with the slate gray. I don't know why I'm just using slate gray. You could pick any color, but slate gray here. And then you got to kind of want to figure out where you want your shade. And in this case, I think the shade would be more up in here in this area. And then the back part will be a little bit lighter. Okay. Because that's the way that this grape looks like it's kind of going. You can use, you're going to be using this as a reference, so it'll help you a lot, which will be nice. You have a reference picture. You can look at this. It'll help you when it comes to shading your grapes. You know, just kind of follow along with where I put my shades. I'll leave a little highlight here. Okay, then let's use the next Indian. Yeah, no, this is Indian Throne. I should use them to go first. I guess it doesn't really matter which color you use, but come around here. I'm just gonna give it a little highlight. I want to leave a little, I could always use a white gel pen here. I want to put a little highlight in this grape right here, so I'm gonna well, let's see. I think it's two grapes. Our way that the artist drew this, it's kind of, the highlight is kind of back in here. It's the way I see it anyway. I don't know, see what happens. Make it a little darker back in here. And I'll make this like this. I mean, really, as long as you have a combination of lights and darks, it'll look good. Okay, then I'm going to take my other blue and just darken it up a little. Okay. Okay, then of course the fun part, mushing it all up. Mushing it all up. Fun part. I better keep something under my hand here. Okay, I'm just mushing it up all little circles. Now I'm going to come over here, do the same thing, little circles, going the way that that grape's going to go. And it's cool because sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, whatever you do, it creates its own little whirlwind, its own little pattern in the grape. So each grape will creates its own little thing. So it just winds up creating its own little peel of its own. You know. Alright, then you can just come back in now, and then we can start adding our shade in here. So let's say in here we want to have a little bit of shade in here. So put in a little shade in this area here. So then of course in here you want it darker because it's really behind, right? So when it's behind something, you want it a little darker, you know, when it's sitting behind something, you want to keep it darker. Okay, so I'm just kind of shading around, and then more shading, just blending around. Give it a natural blend here. Okay, doing the same thing, just darkening it. Okay, now I'm going to add some black. Get rid of the schmugma. Get rid of the schmugma. Then add some black in here. And the black. See, the black really gives it a little bit nice definition, doesn't it? When you add the black tone. Come around here. Okay, then I want to get some nice pink in here. Just to give it a nice pink hue. I'll give that one even a little more if I want. You want. Depends on what you want to do. We'll go back in and play with these when we're a little closer to getting done. But there you go. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and finish all these grapes. Okay, we'll come back and do another piece of fruit. Okay, just do that to all the grapes. Just do each one different. Okay. Well, maybe should I just keep doing the grapes for you? All right, maybe I'll just do the video and just keep doing grapes because maybe you just need. Maybe I'll just keep doing grapes for you, huh? What do you think? I mean, I don't want to waste the video if you know what I mean. Because there's only so much of the time for the video that I can do, but maybe it'll be helpful for you for learning. So let's just keep doing them. Do a couple more. Okay, so same thing, light. It's just I feel it's a little monotonous since I'm just doing the same exact thing on every single grape. Okay, so maybe come around here. See how I want to leave a little bit of a whatever you call it on this grape, like a, you know, more of a, that one's kind of coming around. See what I mean? So that one's like kind of coming around. And then I'm going to come in here with my other color, same way. Okay, and then I come around here. Alright. Then I'm going to take my blue. Mush it up. So I can have a nice grape in here. Okay. Okay, dust it off. Okay, and if it's a little blotchy, like for me that's a little blotchy, so I just go back in again and just continue with my circular motions where I want my highlight. Okay. And I will come back in, of course, and then add it again. Extreme grapes. Coloring grapes, extreme coloring method. Okay. Whatever works, right? It's fun. It's fun, that's for sure. I think it's because I like messing it all up. And I know that I'm not that worried about coloring it because I know that if something ever happens, I just mess it up, smush it up. I can always start over, right? But now there does come a time if you put too much on wax, and you know your paper can only handle so much wax, so you know can't do it forever because you can ruin your paper. So yeah, there does come a time where there is a point in no return. But for the most part, you can do it. Just keep working on it. See, like this one here is giving me a little bit of a hard time, but that's okay. I don't ever quit. I just keep figuring out a way. See, it's working out. It always seems to work itself out, so don't ever quit. Just keep playing with it. And no matter how crappy you think it is, it'll, I don't know, it just has a way to work itself out. Even if you think it is, you just keep working with it. And it will come together. Believe it, it will. You just keep working with it. See? See, I just keep going over that one little part again, and look at it. It's a nice grape. There you go. Alright, I throw in some pink in here maybe somewhere. Give it a nice little, maybe a pink across the top. Okay, and then I will maybe grab some of my white, and then I could give it a highlight in here. And I'll go through with the gel pen later and add highlights with the gel pen, you know. We can do that. Like for example, let's say over here, just to show you here, because well, I don't know how long I should film the grape section, because I don't want to keep showing the exact same thing, you know. But like, let's say you want your gel pen, you could add a little white here, add some white in here. You know, you want a white here, wherever you think you want your white, a nice white highlight, you know. Maybe in here, 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 here. Okay. See, got your little white highlights on your grape. Okay. All right, and then just do that through all the grape, because there's a lot of fruit to do, and I don't want this video to be way too long, because then it'll be a 10-hour video. So, but you got the idea of every grape, and I'm going to give you this picture to look at, okay? But it's just the exact same. You're going to be doing the exact same thing I did on every single grape, okay? Okay, just do that exact same thing on every grape until all those grapes are done. We're going to come back and we'll do another piece of fruit, okay? But look, it's already, your masterpiece is already coming out, okay? So just keep doing that, and we'll be back. So there are some grapes here. I did all my grapes. I just added some highlights and Put in the grapes. Now let's go through here and do the orange. So if you remember from our the way that we did our orange, I put all the colors there, and the colors are there for you. So you're going to get out your cream, and the first thing we want to do here is let's put in the rind with the cream, which is the light color. So let's put in the rind with the cream, the little peel, the rind, I guess, isn't that what you call it? Okay. All right, then we want to come down through here, and we want to make sure we get this in here, the rind in here. Okay, and it's a little hard to see, so you got to kind of look for it. It's a little bit more pronounced in here. Okay, we're going to come down in here. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, a lot of these areas in here, we're going to want a little lighter too. These are your little, where your pulp is. So I'm just going through and adding some of these lighter areas just sporadically through here where my little lighter cream is. And it's real sporadic. I'm just, remember how before how we were doing it kind of messy? Just kind of messy through here. We're still kind of doing that, or we're doing it kind of messy through here. Okay, but because it's grayscale, it makes it a little easier for us. Okay, all right. Then now let's take a lemon yellow, and let's just put a nice kind of a bright, a little bit bright on the side, because this one we're doing on the inside. And then you might want to put it just maybe in a couple little spots, because this is kind of a bright lemony yellow. I'm just going to put it in a couple little areas here, maybe down in here. Okay, I don't want it in all the areas because the lemon yellow is pretty bright. We can go back in and put some later. I don't want too much. Okay, now we can go and we can add some canary yellow and start putting in some pulp. Now when you're putting in this pulp, you want to leave some of those areas with the canary yellow now. Leave some of those areas open. Okay, and come down here where your little pulp is, and then also take your canary yellow and let's do a little kind of like a glow along this outside here. Alright, I want to glow here. Okay, have a nice glow coming here. Okay, this is where our leaf is going to be. We got a nice little leaf that'll be here. Let's come in here. Okay, and then now we want to do the same thing, just kind of with our canary yellow. Just add, just nice and messy. Nice and messy. Remember how we did that? Messy, like a little seesaw action. Okay. Keeping our little, but like I say, with this grayscale, makes it kind of easier because it's got some nice shades for us kind of already built there. Just kind of following along, which kind of what's there. Adding pulp right along the sides here. Putting in this a nice base, just to give it a nice rich base There we go. You already got a little orange going, huh? All right, now let's take our next color here, which is going to be our Spanish orange. Now with our Spanish orange, we want to do the same thing, but lighter, and we're just going to kind of come around some of these areas and start giving it the pulpy look. Okay, come around those areas that's starting to form when you went jaggedy with it. Okay. You don't have to do it in all the areas either, just you can do it in some areas. You don't even have to do it in all the areas. But the point is to leave the areas of light and dark and open areas so that it creates that really cool illusion of some pulp, you know? Because we want that nice. Some people don't like pulp, but when we're drawing it, we like pulp. All right. Okay. See, it's already coming along. Hey, Simba, that scared me. I'm gonna come around here. Okay, come around. And leave some of those areas like that. See how I'm just kind of going around the areas where I had the light and the dark and that jaggedy kind of motion that I taught you. I'm kind of breaking that up in here. I want some in here. Okay. See that? Just nice and pulpy. Nice and pulpy. Alright, here we go. See, it already looks like that. It already is looking good, isn't it? Okay, alright, now let's take our orange and let's kind of come along the side with that. And this is the, and I'm feathering that in a little bit. Okay. You could even put a little down in here in the apple too if you want a little bit. Just give it a little shade if you want, just to, you know, feather it in a little. You don't want to have an exact line, you know what I mean? You don't want a line. You want a nice feather it in. Some areas you can have it thicker and thinner. Okay. All right. Now let's grab a yellowed orange, and with the yellowed orange, it's just a little darker. All right. And then this one here is where you could start putting in a little bit of shadow. See how it's getting it a little bit more defined in some of these areas. See? And you're just going to have to kind of play around where you want your darkness to go. Just kind of play around with it. Oranges are, you know, kind of all different. Some are darker in some areas, like there, and some are lighter in some areas. Some are just Just keep putting your color in here, but make sure you fade it in, that you don't have, you know, stark lines. If you go over into white, just kind of fade it in. Don't leave any harsh lines. Just kind of fade it, because then you won't have that realistic look. And just work it around, and then come around here. You want to add a nice orange to your peel. Okay, you want to give it to some of your peel now. Fade it in nicely. Don't even have to go over all the areas either. Leave some thinner and some thicker. I've noticed that looks a lot better. If you see, I wanted mine, I thought maybe a little darker over here. That was just the way mine was working out. Like the way yours was, maybe you know, it all depended on how you started off with your little squiggly lines, you know. Because they make its own little firestorm. It'll make its own little areas of where your light and darks will kind of go. Where your little holes are, you know, and I'm just going kind of around where they kind of already were. They make their own little hole. It makes their own pulp when you do that crazy method that I taught you with that. Okay. Okay, now let's take some cad orange, and with the cad orange, I want to just put some in some more areas here, but it's a little darker, so you know, you gotta just kind of pick and choose where you want the cad orange, like where I'm doing it here. I'm just kind of putting in a few areas very lightly. I don't want too much of it because it's pretty dark, but I do want to put some in here along the side. Maybe some over here. Maybe some down in here. I kind of like it the way it is. I like it like that. It's pretty good. I mean, it's got a nice realistic look to it, I think. Sometimes I'll just work on it and then I can always come back to it later. You'll find you'll do the same thing as you move along your picture. You know, but for now I'm actually going to leave this. Okay, will be part 2. Okay, because I can't have the videos too long. So, okay, this is part of a leaf here. So I'm gonna, okay, alrighty. Okay, this is part of a leaf here. You can't really see it, but this is like a leaf that kind of comes around. I'm just gonna put some yellow here. Alright, you guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video here so far, and we're gonna come back and continue on. So far so good. I hope that you're enjoying it, so just stay tuned. It's looking really good so far. I'm really proud of us. We will just continue working on it, adding more detail, and let's see you in the next video. Ciao.